Alright, let's get right into it. So Scarlet got a baby buff for her overhead, right? So it's pretty much still the same, but instead of it doing 7 damage, it does 9. And instead of doing 16%, it does 18. Here's the thing. I used to never use her overhead, because I really don't need to use her overhead. She just has way better moves than a fucking unsafe overhead. Oh yeah, by the way, it's unsafe. Minus 17. Like, I don't really, I have so much other shit that's better than the overhead. I would sometimes just use it on wake up, like shit like that. But a couple of weeks ago, I started adding Scarlet's overhead to my game, and it's very beneficial. Very, very beneficial. And I would get to that. And it got a buff, so why not make a video on it? So here's the thing. First of all, here's a little honorable mention. This should just be an unblockable. Like, honestly, they should just make this an unblockable. If you land this string right here, there's nothing your opponent can do for the overhead. Like, no one is really ready for this. No one. No one is ready for the overhead. You have the hit advantage of 20. This comes out in 22 frames. There's nothing your opponent can do. No one is ready for that. I have yet to see someone ever block this that I have played. No one's ready for it. It should just be an unblockable. So there's my honorable mention, right? So now let's get to her staggers. Here's the thing about Scarlet staggers. With Scarlet staggers, to add the overhead game to Scarlet staggers, you have to really space your opponent out. Like, really space your opponent out. And the first string that I have to go over is this motherfucker right here. I am +1. Here's the thing about Scarlet. To be good with Scarlet, you have to have a really good spacing game. Like, really space your opponent out. Put yourself in a position you want to be and you want your opponent to be. Like, make them feel uncomfortable as possible. Make them reach. Make them jump at you for no fucking reason and anti-air their ass. That's what I want you to do with Scarlet. Especially with this string. Look, I'm super close, and if I throw it and my opponent blocks it, hit advantage is 0. And at some point, you could actually be +1. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. So that's a little, you know, must know Scarlet, right? So here's the thing. Even if my opponent blocks this, right? What can my opponent do when I step back and do the overhead, right? What can he really do? Uppercut? No. Poke? No. Down 4? No. There's no character that is really ready for it. Like, even that right there, you know? Like, what is your opponent going to really do? Here's the thing. When you're staggering somebody with Scarlet, everyone is going to start poking. They're going to wait their turn and try to poke out. That's what people are going to do. They're not going to throw fucking buttons right away. They're either going to try to poke or try to jump out for whatever reason, right? That's what people are going to try to do. So, that's when you just mix motherfuckers up with Scarlet as much as possible. You have to add your throw and overhead game to really make this shit work. So, one is this, and then stepping back and going in for the overhead. On hit or on block, I don't give a shit. If you hit your opponent and you throw your overhead right after, there's nothing your opponent can do. They can try to dash back, that's not going to work. They can try to poke you, they're not going to make it in time. They can try to jump, they're not going to make it in time. Like, that shit is hitting them in the fucking head, like, no matter what. On hit, right? So on hit, if you throw it right where you are, nothing's going to happen. Now, if you throw it and it hits them and you step back and then throw it, what the fuck are they going to do? Like, there's just not enough time for them to fucking react. The only thing they could really do is dash up and hit you. So that's when, you know, you can start doing shit like this right here. Right? So it's like, look at him whiff. And then, boom. By the time, like, he is not ready for that. He is just not ready for that. So you're spacing your opponent the fuck out and then dropping a fucking overhead that just has a shitload of mind games to it. So for that move, that's that. With the wake up shit, I'll get to the end. So there's that. Not only that, but even this right here, on hit, step back, throw it, or even on block, you're only -5. Boom, you can step back and do that to throw them off completely. So there's that. The next one is the forward 4, my baby, into the overhead. I love this move. This is my favorite move in the entire game. So you do this, step back, and then do the overhead. So here's the thing about it. So you do it, step back, and then throw it, right? Your opponent really has to have the read on you. It's like, oh, that second hit, their pokes could miss if they're not on point. But if they're on point, they're gonna get you. It just is what it is, right? So here's the thing. So now, if your opponent is good, like you have a really good opponent, and you know they're not gonna fall for that shit. Do this, step back, boom, overhead. Just like that. Right? So you can just get them just like that. Right? So like for Jax, he has that annoying ass move. You could do this. Right? So now it's sorry, it's kind of hard to show you guys. Sorry, let's do that one more time. But you guys get the point. You throw it, block for a second, and then you step back, and then they'll try to grab you, and then you can fucking just do that shit or whatever, right? Whatever the case may be. Or not only that, another thing that I like to do that throws my opponent off is do this, and then go into your overhead or what is it? Do this, overhead, that throws a lot of people off. So there's just so much you can do. So just know, when you throw this, and if your opponent gives you the respect, you can definitely go into the overhead. Just, you know, get them used to blocking that freaking low. So you can step back, whatever, do that shit. Or, if your opponent's good, and you know, you want to really throw them off, you throw this, block the poke, and then do that shit. Because in this situation, a lot of people, they just fucking, you know, they just poke. They don't really use buttons like that because they can get clipped. So there's that. So another thing that you can do is 1, 2, step back, overhead. On hit, you could definitely do that and clip it. But I'm talking about when your opponent blocks it, you know. It could be rough, even if your opponent is just off by just a little bit. Let me show you. Right? Saw that right there? Like, oh, what's he gonna do? And then there's that. Or then you could do stuff like this, step up, and then right there I whiff. So you can start doing stuff like that. Jumping up or over that with the forward 4. It all depends on how your opponent really, you know, reacts to your shit. So there's that. So now the last one, which is going to be kind of a mind fuck, but I highly recommend it. When it comes to Scarlet's crushing blow, other than her grab, this is the one right here. This move is the one. As a stagger, I don't know. I don't think on paper it looks like a good stagger. But here's the thing. You can absolutely make this shit work. Doing this, stepping back. Here's the thing. What is your opponent really going to do? Like, what are they really going to do in this situation? Look. Like, what is Jax really going to do? Like, what is he really going to do? Like, oh, he's going to do that? You know? You get spaced the fuck out. You get spaced the fuck out. And let me show you. What is Jax really going to do in this situation? Like, he's expecting this to come out. And instead, this backdash into a freaking overhead comes out. So, you could really throw motherfuckers off like that. I've been throwing a lot of people off like that. Not only that, but I get crushed. Like, when I just throw this, they block the first hit, and they try challenging me on the second one, and I get a crushing blow. So that's a little bonus for that. Try this out. On the screen, it looks like, dude, no one's gonna fall for this shit. But believe me, people fall for this shit. It's just you're minus 13. It's not the best idea. But believe me, people get thrown off by this shit. Or even you could just throw it and then do that. And then step back and then throw it. Or whatever the case may be. But definitely add this to your fucking game. With just, boom. That's not going to come out. And then the overhead comes out. Or you could even say, hey, I'm going to be safe. And then throw your sweep. Whatever the case may be. The point being to it is your opponent is like, oh, I have the read on you, and instead you get your crushing blow. So it is really good, and it's very, very beneficial to do. Another one, why not, is when you get all your plus frames going, boom, you can start doing stuff like that. Instead of throwing another whip, just, and then get your shit going, space them the fuck out, and there's that. And the other one that I really like to do is this guy. Once it lands, step back, outspace him, and then throw the overhead. So there's just a ton you can do. You could absolutely mix it up. You could do this, and then boom. Like, it's pretty good with Scarlet when you start spacing your opponent out. So now for the wake up game, when it lands, what do you do? What do you do? Here's the thing. Once this lands, people get scared. People, they wake up standing up. That's what they do. They wake up standing up, and they're either ready to somewhat fuzzy it. And that's when you grab them. You just keep it super simple. You do this, step back, like boom. Step back, boom, grab them, right? Super simple. Or you could boom, step back, overhead, and they get clipped. But here's the thing: if they decide to like roll backwards, right? So let me show you. Right, so it's like, oh, sorry. Boom, they get clipped. That is a punish right there. So there's that. They try back rolling, it's not gonna happen. Like, they're just gonna get clipped. If they try forward rolling, that's when you get ready to grab them or get ready to throw the overhead. Moral of the story being is, just get ready for whatever it is your opponent's gonna do. Like boom, step back, and then walk up grabber. Boom, step back, boom, overhead. Give them that little respect. Let them think that they're gonna get away with it, and then you clip them. Keep it super simple. Overhead, and you can do a low. They wake up, you could do another low, or you could go for it and say fuck it, and just wait just a little bit, and then just stay in the back, and then throw it. Don't be all up close and then throw it. Stay in the back and then throw it out of nowhere. Like, walk back and then throw it. And then they're waiting for it, and instead you walk up and grab them. So it's like, boom, what am I going to do? Grab. It's like, oh, he's going to throw it overhead. And then they just don't know if you're going to walk up, grab them, or freaking throw the overhead, or throw the sweep, or stagger, or whip and dip. You guys get the point. But what I like to do is I never like to throw the crushing blow. I just like to like pocket that shit. Personally. If I land this shit, I'm always going back and walking up, getting my 14% and having that shit ready for whenever the fuck I want to do it. Or if it's like that last game, fuck it, why not? I'll cash out on it. But I never go for the crushing blow. That's just me. I just want to keep my opponent guessing at all time. And it's like, that's what I like to do. And you can be completely safe with the sweep. And there's that. It is minus 14, minus 12, but there's so much space. Good luck punishing me. So there's that. So that's Scarlet's overhead guide. Another honorable mention is this works all the time. No one's really ready for this. Not only that, but it's like boom, then you shimmy them, and then you land it again. Let's see how much damage that is, right? 1, 2, 3, whatever. That's a decent amount of damage, so, you know, you could do shit like that. So there's that. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Holla back. Check you guys later. Deuces.